A woman falls from 6 miles above the earth. No parachute, no harness, just open sky. Try to imagine, but surviving the fall wasn't the end of her story. In some ways, it was only She lived in a modest apartment in Belgrade for the rest of her years, largely out of the public eye except when journalists or documentary crews came calling to ask about that January morning in 1972. She never remarried after her marriage ended. She never had children. In many ways, the woman who had somehow cheated the laws of physics and human survival lived a quiet, unremarkable daily existence, grocery shopping, visiting neighbors, watching the years pass in a city that had changed almost as dramatically as her own life had. Vesna Vulovic passed away in December 2016 at the age of 66. She was found in her Belgrade apartment. Her death, in a strange final twist that felt oddly fitting for a life defined by unanswered questions, came without full public clarity on the immediate cause, though friends and former colleagues confirmed her passing to news outlets soon after. The woman who fell farther than almost any human being in recorded history and lived to walk again was gone, but the story she left behind refuses to fade. Because here's the thing that makes this case endure, decades later, retold again and again on documentaries, in books, in conversations exactly like this one. It's not just about surviving. Plenty of people have survived terrible accidents. It's about the specific, almost mathematically absurd nature of what she survived. 6 miles of open sky, freezing temperatures, no parachute, no control, just the laws of physics, somehow, incredibly, bending just enough to let one 22-year-old flight attendant live, while 27 other souls did not. It's about the mystery still tangled up in why that plane came apart in the first place, a mystery that touches on Cold War paranoia, ethnic tensions inside a fracturing country, and the possibility that a government somewhere quietly knows more than it has ever admitted. And it's about the quiet, stubborn resilience of a woman who had every reason to disappear into grief and trauma, and instead chose, again and again, to stand up, to walk, to return to work, to speak out against injustice, even when it cost her personally. Vesna Vulovic never asked to be a symbol of anything. She wanted to be an interpreter. She fell into working for an airline almost by accident, and then fell out of an airplane in the most literal, devastating way imaginable. But somewhere between the wreckage in that Czechoslovak forest and the quiet apartment in Belgrade, where she spent her final years, she became something more than just a survivor. She became proof that the human body and the human will can endure far more than we think possible. Proof that a broken spine and a fractured skull and a paralysis doctors thought might be permanent can still, somehow, be overcome through sheer, grinding determination. And she became a permanent reminder that some questions, no matter how many decades pass, may simply never get fully answered. What really brought that plane down over the hills of Czechoslovakia in January 1972 may stay locked away in old government files, or in the memories of people who have long since passed away themselves, taking whatever they knew to their graves. But one fact remains beyond dispute, verified, recorded, and etched into the record books forever. On an ordinary winter morning, a plane broke apart 6 miles above the earth, and one young woman fell the entire distance down, and somehow, against every possible expectation, stood back up,